Hi class, my name is Lisa or Elizabeth, and I just wanted to present to you the 3 documents that we're going to be uploading for you guys to view for our thematic unit. So this is by Christina and Elizabeth and Ines, and our thematic unit's title is Mi Comunidad, My Community. And so I have 3 things I want to show you briefly so that as you're reviewing the material more in depth, you'll kind of understand what you're looking at. These are Google Slides that we've created for our students to view during the thematic unit. And also I have a brief handout for you to look at. And in more detail, we have our entire thematic unit. So first of all, let me just introduce you to our theme and what it's all about. We want to be talking about my community, like what makes up a community, and this is directed towards 5th grade Spanish students in the exploratory model, which means they probably just meet 2 or 3 times a week at the most, and they're at a novice mid-level. And as you can see, the standards are all over the place, and we detail them a little more in our detailed document. But when I say they're all over the place, I don't mean in a bad way, but rather we're trying to address in this unit just all of the standards, a little bit of each. So we have interpretive listening, interpretive reading, interpersonal communication, presentational communication, presentational writing, and then of course it's important to us that our students view culture and that they can connect that with their own culture and make comparisons, and also hopefully bring this information out into the community. So that's just a little more explanation of what all these numbers are. You can see them in more detail in the thematic unit document. Basically, what we want our students to understand at the end of the unit is that a community represents a very meaningful place. And it's important that they learn about where places are, what services they offer. They're going to learn who the community helpers are. That helps them make connection to what their own values are, their own culture is, what their own traditions are, and then be able to compare that when they're traveling to other places in Latin America or just learning about them. Also, it's important to us that they learn how to ask for directions and give directions and be able to understand directions if someone gives them to them. So by the end of this unit, students should be able to describe the places, people, and things in their community or in a community in general. They should be able to give and understand directions around town. They should be able to read and understand signs. They should be able to recognize cognates and false cognates. And they should be able to compare and contrast different community features. So the 6 lessons that we've included in this unit are places in my community, which I just want to give you a little visual aid on each of these. Places in my community, they're going to learn the different places and play some games and activities of those. And then our second lesson is called Community Helpers. So in Community Helpers, they will learn who the different people in the community are, and of course reinforce those with some different activities, both writing and manipulatives and so on. We're going to play bingo. And our third lesson is called What I See Around Town. And so this is some of the same vocabulary, but also they're going to see traffic signals and play some games and activities with that, including a simulation. Our lesson 4 is called Giving and Getting Directions. So here the students will start with a song and learn the different directional words and phrases and location phrases. They'll be listening to and giving instructions, driving around a map, as well as guiding their partner around the class and so on. The 5th lesson is called My Neighbors, and this lesson also has some information on cognates and false cognates, and a short story called Donde Está Max. So as we're ending the thematic unit in this story, such as Donde Está Max, you can see how several of the words are being tied together from lessons 1 through 4, and now we're piecing them into a short story that that they could actually understand. And then they'll start really, in each of our lessons we have high levels of Bloom taxonomy, but you can see here towards the end they're going to be drawing a map and really owning this material and creating their own things with what they've learned. And then the last lesson is called Places in My Town and Places in a Latin American Town, Important Places in the City. So they'll present their maps, and then we're also going to take them on a little tour. There's a couple of videos here. I'll turn the sound off. But we have a video of the city of Mexico, and also a video here of the Mercado de Aire Libre in Spain. And so they'll do some compare contrast using some Venn diagrams after they view those videos. And so that's just an overview of our thematic unit. And there's a little more description here on the handout of what each lesson, just kind of the order of everything that we're going to be doing, and a little more description in the materials. So all 6 lessons are there in the handout, and then when you're ready to see a little more detail, you can go to the thematic unit document, and then that's where you'll actually see the standards and objectives for each lesson, what the big idea is, the essential question, the objectives and the vocabulary and academic skills in more detail, and then for each portion of the class, you'll see a description of the activities, what materials might be needed, and what accommodations we may have included for ELL learners for each portion of the class, starting with a warm-up, and then an introduction, and then the core lesson, practice, application, assessment, and then finally closure. So there are 6 lessons here in this document that you can review as well. So that's just a really brief overview of the documents I'll be posting about Mi Comunidad. So special thanks to Christina and Ines for all their hard work. And this was fun to make. And hopefully, if you're planning on teaching elementary Spanish at some point, hopefully there'll be some things here that you'll actually be able to use. All right, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Hasta luego.